just absolutely bonkers. Am I live? Am I live currently? Okay, so it does seem like I'm live. Can I hear myself? Not really. Am I live? Okay, okay. So it does arrive a little bit delayed, which I guess is normal. Now I have to sign into Google Mail again. That's kind of annoying. Okay. Gotta get my phone. Yes, it's me. Awesome. Okay, with passkey, blah 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 blah, that's fine. I thought I had already set up passkey on this computer actually, but whatever. Okay, continue, please. I'm not looking particularly Jesus, yeah, like... Okay, chat works. Right. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, probably no one here, and I don't even have anything that tells me how many people are watching, so I will not know. Just to let you know. And this is how to build a compiler. That's the name of the project at the very least. My name is Pascal, and I'm going to try and build a C compiler in... Whoops. I'm not a specific amount of time actually, but I'm going to try and build a C compiler from scratch, more or less, in C++, to see what a human being with very little prior experience can do in regards to building a C compiler. And I wanted to see how I would compare to that famous experiment, semi-famous I guess, of Anthropic, who did recently build a C compiler with like 16 agents or something like that, which apparently is not a great compiler, but whatever. Okay. Agents or something like that. Which just had to do this. Going live to own the Clankers. There you go. Just because you have to obviously be inflammatory on the internet. That's just how it works. So anyways, where are we right now? So currently what I'm trying to do here, you can see on the right, is I'm just building the Lexer. That one is mostly, right now at least, me following the awesome series online ebook crafting interpreters. I think, yeah, that's how it's called. And I'm just gonna follow that for the basic Lexer and translate the code that's inside of that into C++. There are some things that will be a little bit different, but that's roughly the idea. And by the end of it, I hope I'll have like a basic parser. a basic Lexer rather, and with that, we'll see what happens from there. I don't really know how long that's going to take, but right now I obviously will just kind of experiment until I find something. Or until I hit a roadblock, or until I have a better idea. The idea is to do the Lexer, then do the Lexer, the scanner, so that means the thing that reads in the code and transforms it into tokens. And then the next thing is, once I've done that, what is the, okay, yeah. Once I've done that, I want to the next step, which I think, how was that called? It's the parser, right? Yeah. So, and in parallel, I will read the so-called Purple Dragon book, which I've ordered, which is not here yet, which is a more academic take on how to build a compiler. And I will also do some stuff about like trying to figure out how C works. So I have these C test cases here. You can see that here. I'm just trying out some stuff. That was another experiment that is over now. And basically I want to see like how C would look like in assembly so that I get a sense for what's happening here. Not that I can make any sense of this at all, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, that's currently where I'm at. So most of these sessions will probably just be me trying to build the Lexer based on what I find in crafting interpreters. And then, you know, I don't expect that to be like a terribly frustrating experience, truth be told, because I really am just following like something. It's basically painting by numbers right now. But we'll see. We'll see. And right now, the thing I want to do is, and just to clarify, I will usually work for an hour or two during the day on this, and then I will do another hour or two of streaming most of the weekdays. So usually we'll have something prepared before going in. Although I haven't made that much progress today. Okay. Okay, so I think the next thing I should probably start with, actually, oops, there you go. And right now I've written everything into the C, a main file. That's because I still have to make a proper make file that would take everything from the include and source folder and combine it all. And I don't really know how to do make files beyond, when do we have that? Beyond this. This is all I can do right now. That's a little bit disappointing, but what can you do? That's just basically everything I know about make files. You can see that I don't know that much about C++ or C. And just to like give a little bit of my background, I am basically a junior C#.NET developer. Have been developing in .NET and C# for 3 years, and I'm currently unemployed. And I really like to code by hand, because I'm a caveman. Okay, so let me just see. What is that? So I think, so we have the standard, okay. I will probably want to do this. So here we have an unknown token. And the way Crafting Interpreters does it is throwing an error instead of pushing that back. So I think we can do the same thing. Seam does not exist, or unexpected character keyword, something like that, and then we just gonna return leg seams here. Okay, that's obviously not great error handling, but I think it's gonna do. Ah, shit. Oh man, where is GGB on my system? But I mean, shouldn't this just work? I'm pretty sure I put that into the, I put it into the path. Oh, okay, so couldn't load the file? That does make sense, I guess, so... I think I gotta do this differently, right? So let's do, yeah. I think this is workspace full. Did you just... Okay. So connection was broken there for a second. Oh, right. So I don't quite understand why he would... Maybe I didn't change that yet. He should have... Get a little bit confused here, but anyways, you can see down here he does find some stuff. Obviously, I miss... Yeah. It's called semicolon. Okay. Okay, so far so good. That all looks fine. Very nice. Okay, so what's next then? So we have basic error handling. I think the next thing is probably dealing with a case where we want to... Right. Oh, this is a good case. Example, because what we want to do here... Oh, Jesus. What we want to do here is we want to do the peaking. So let's see whether I get that right. Okay, so what I need to do is actually the match thing. So, okay. So the way that would work is here we go. Token type T would be, right, because match returns, okay. Alright, so what we have is we go in here, we go match. Okay. This, and if that does match, then it's token type equal and else it's token type assign. So that's actually pretty smart. Okay, so we can now do this for all of these, I think. So this is star basically. It's another example of one where we want to keep going. Okay, so let's actually add a few here, right? So what we can add is obviously less than equal greater than equal, okay, less equal greater equal less isn't here yet, right? No. We can also add a sign, multi-sign, sub-assign, divide sign, okay, I'm actually making a bit of a mistake. Oh, never mind. No. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so we have all of these. And for whatever reason, connection is broken again. Okay, reconnection was successful. Nice. I will now... okay. Because I'm starting to understand the basics of how this thing works. And I do really like that. Less, greater, add a sign. Right. These are... the new values. So we're just gonna take those and use them here. I probably should find a way to automate this, but right now this is fine. Greater equal, right. This is one of the problems with less equal, less than or equal with not using AI, right? Is that I have to type all of this out. It's not a huge problem, but greater than. It certainly is something. But then again, I also do think that this way I'm also more aware of sort of like the restrictions of the engine itself. Add and sign. Technically, I think that's not the right name, but whatever. Token type. Subtract and assign multi-sign, apply and sign. It should complain, I think, somewhere if this doesn't work. Hopefully. Anyways, we now have these. So, and basically what match does, it checks whether the next character is of a specific type, right? And these are all 2-character pairs. So if, for example, the next one, no, this is not Python or JavaScript. We have to make that an actual character. So if the next character here is an equal sign, that means we had this written in code, which means it's that's a bit weird. Do I not have? Oh yeah, yeah. Token type star, it's called, because I copied that over. I mean, this sort of makes sense, because here's the issue. Like later on, this will actually mean a lot of things, right? So later on, you can think about it like this. It could be a pointer, or it could be dereferencing a pointer, or it could be a multiplication, or it could be a pointer to a pointer. I don't know how long this can go. Maybe it can go infinitely long, frankly. So for that matter, I'm not sure whether this is then a job for the parsing, right? Because the thing itself does not change. So you could maybe, and this is something I would have to figure out later on. This is actually an interesting question, whether when we do this versus, so this one is defined, right? But let's say we do this. He then looks up, okay, so there's a literal after it, and it's an initialization, so we're making it a pointer. But here, it's on the right side of an assignment, so we're making it a dereferencer. Although, I don't actually, like, if it was this, I don't know, okay, so this is just not allowed. Okay, okay. So this would be allowed, I think. Both of these are not allowed, interestingly enough. But I think this, yeah, okay. So it's either not defined or not allowed, whatever. So, and these are all things that I have to figure out as I go, right? Just not entirely sure on how to do that. Luckily enough, right now I can just type. And this is why it's kind of nice to just type, right? Because I can just type, and then while I'm typing out the code, I can figure out what exactly needs to be solved later on. I can think through this, and I mean, this isn't efficient anyways because I'm talking to the crowd, although there is arguably no crowd here. But, you know, maybe there will be. One day, maybe there will be. Okay, so this is just line plus plus. I think that makes sense. Huh. So I would like to see whether... Okay, so what I just realized is that it didn't actually rebuild. So I guess I have to do this. Huh. And he doesn't... okay, why exactly is that not allowed? See, now I'm just running into C++ issues. Jump to case label. Why is this a problem? Oh, okay. Okay. So I think I understand this, right? This would not be an issue if it was done like this. But the problem is if I declare token type the way I just did without these brackets. Okay, now it's allowed, see? Then it tries to define that multiple times. Okay, okay, see. Now it works, that works now. But I don't actually, for the time being, I don't want to return it because right now this is just testing. Okay. Okay, okay. Look at that. Many, many unexpected characters and keywords, of course. I do actually, let me look at this. Like, I obviously don't do any of these things, but let's just figure out whether it in principle would figure that out. Right. That's not equal. I also need to have all the binary operators. There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, what is this? What the? Why did... okay, why did thingy break? Why did my NVim extension break here? Whatever, it doesn't really matter too much. Whoopala. Right, it does not matter too much right now. We'll just kind of do it like this. Old school. Right. And now this should... like, this should already work, actually. Left, right. Semicolon, multiply and assign. I don't see at assign anywhere. Let me just binary compiler xc c tests main.c and output text. So then we can actually look at that in the editor. Huh? Oh, okay. That's just... I don't know where that comes from, actually. So output text is here. All the interesting stuff is down here. Assign, semi-multiply and assign. There should be at and assign, so it seems like that didn't work. Okay. Did I not actually add that yet? No, I did add that. Ah, but I haven't done that in here. I don't even think I've got the plus in here yet. Very nice. Then we get to do that now. So, do. So much stuff to write. Token type plus add a sign. Otherwise, it should be token type plus there you go. And then we just go lexemes pushback t bub and null. Oops, and line, of course. Do. What I find weird though in output, it doesn't actually have a line now. Oh, did I not put that into the output yet? No, I didn't. Okay. Line number plus line. Huh. Oh yeah, standard to string. Does that work? Complaints? No complaints. What do we have here? Output text. A lot of extra stuff now. Ooh, yeah. So, see. That all works. Here the line stays the same. So we got the line number. We got the right stuff. That's definitely pretty good progress. Going in strong at 33 minutes. Probably just gonna do an hour right now. Okay, so that's the match thing. The next thing we can do, and I'm just going to, like, it's all very token type, but I already have divide? Let's add slash. I know that one isn't here, but we'll add it. Right, and then we connect the. So I don't know why. Did I deactivate it? Oh, okay. I did deactivate it. Like, Amazon is annoying me here. I should really just get that off the system completely. And I thought I had taken it off the system. I think you don't see that. So, you just don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways. So, put it back to not. Yeah, there you go. I thought it had crashed, but it just accidentally turned it off, I guess. Okay, so the next thing would be this. Right. Okay, no case. But is that A times B? I'm just trying to figure this out. Like right now. Okay, definitely doesn't complain about that, so that's the vision. Had to remind myself. So the next thing is token type. Ba 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 ba. Ah, that's very interesting though. How does he do this? Yeah, no, obviously what we actually do is we if match. Then we go while peak is not new line and is not is at end. We're going to advance. And then else we're gonna add token like seems pushback token type slash bup bup and line. Need those brackets for initialization. Looks good though. And then gonna break. We can do that outside of the brackets actually. But it is inside the brackets, cool. So the next thing I want to do here is what's the next thing I want to do? I obviously want to see whether that works. Just another comment. As a matter of fact, I want to do that between those two. Just another comment. And then we'll see. There should be nothing in between those two. And then it worked. You know. And if there's anything in between those two, then it didn't work. Very straightforward, actually. So multiply okay, that's a bit weird. Assign, multiply, assign, plus multiply and assign, add an assign. Oh, semicolon is actually fine, right? There should be a semicolon. But why are there two semicolon on that line? There's actually multiple semicolons that are doubled. Do I have two no. So how am I doing that here? Semicolon. There's something weird about it, apparently. No. Huh? Huh? I'm a bit weirded out by that. Can't make any sense of it. But because we get that and then we jump to the next thing. But it did ignore the comment, which is good. I suppose. Okay, 40 minutes in. Gotta like hype myself up a little bit here because this is harder than I thought it would be. Okay. Okay, so the next thing is what? String literals, number literals, string literals. Okay, so string literals is just literally. So the way he does it is okay. I think that's obviously we're just gonna like basically void string. Repeat that. So while peak is not this, not is at end. If peak, then we're gonna go line plus plus. That's just like always. And then we advance. Meaning if we have a string, we're pretty much just gonna and then we're gonna do this, okay. And then string value equals data substring start plus 1 current minus 1. Yeah. But I also think it works differently here. No, we should have the line start, of course. And the thing is, like, we would obviously this I will not look up, but I think it should be pretty straightforward. What we do here is we go start equals current, and then we go string, and that should be it, right? So what we then do is so we go start plus 1. That does make sense, but what we want is not current, but rather not current minus 1, right? But rather the different current minus 1 minus start plus 1, which obviously equals itself out, which means we're doing that. That seems push back Lexeme's pushback value token type which does mean that I also have to rewrite that. Like, my implementation obviously now starts to look more and more just like the fucking implementation of the course I'm using, but that's so we just initialize that here. That should be fine. I think this is initialized, so this is clear it should be initialized on its own. So now we can just have it here, which means we can and probably should rewrite this We should rewrite it in just a second to make sure that it actually is equivalent to the course, so then we don't do this but have a pushback or an add token function. So now that I've added string to it, it should be fairly easy. To do this. Now the thing that I'm interested in is, like, once it compiles, like if we're doing this test string, which is technically a const char. Right, so now we're doing that. We make it, that worked, that's cool. And that was like insanely fast? What the fuck? Somewhere in here, I think. Okay, something weird happened. Okay, so at this point here, it's just reading in the entire string. Up until here. I don't know why, though. There's literally no other how you call these, there's no other string opener. God damn it, how you call these? I'm just blanking on how these things are called, but you know, whatever denotes a string, it's not here another time, so I don't understand why once it's here. How does the logic work here? So we go while peak is not that and not is at end. If peak, then we make a new line and we advance. I know we always advance. We advance one last time. And before we go in, maybe I didn't. No, I did. And like debugging seems to be quotation marks was the thing I was looking for. What is this? Yeah, Jesus Christ. I've gotta like make sure that it actually... So it finds that, and it finds like 10,000 that... Yeah... Okay, that's definitely weird, right? At some point it injects this. But that seems to be too early. Oh, fuck you. Okay. Got a little bit frustrated there. Not going to lie. There you go. Now it should just... Technically a construct, so it's one... you see that, which means the start point is actually one off. So I would presume... down here somewhere, streak peak. Because I'm setting... Yeah. Right, I think that should just be it, more or less. And then we look at the output, and technically const char, technically con, okay. And there's like one last thing we gotta do, because now we actually do have to move that one back. And I think that should be like a pretty good session. That's about an hour. That's what I was aiming for. And it's starting to take shape. There's still a lot more to do, but I think that's going to be it for today. Okay, I'm sure nobody's here, but in case there's anyone, have a nice day. Thanks for your attention, and maybe see you another time. Bye.